a comparative philosophical study of the realistic cosmology of Gong thought and quantum non-locality. Quantum non-locality, a central focus of modern quantum mechanics, demonstrates that microscopic particles maintain instantaneous correlations regardless of spatial distance, thereby posing a fundamental challenge to the reductionist and local worldviews long held by classical physics. This paper conducts a rigorous comparative philosophical analysis of the profound interpretative convergences between these scientific discoveries and the realistic cosmology of Gong thought proclaimed by the living Buddha medicine Tathagata Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha who came to Savesegi. Within the framework of Gong thought, Gong presents a stark contrast to the traditional understanding of sunyata taught by Shakyamuni Buddha. It serves as an absolute realism signifying that the universe is eternally changeless, indestructible, and entirely full. Crucially, this study establishes the ultimate ontological principle that the great radiant light itself is Gong thought. Just as life on Earth cannot exist without the physical sun, the universe itself cannot exist without light. Light is the absolute cause of cosmic creation, and without it, no existence can be established. Consequently, all physical phenomena and scientific frameworks, including quantum mechanics, locality, and non-locality, are structurally subordinate to this primordial light. This paper demonstrates that the great radiant light continuously radiating from the holy body of the living Buddha medicine Tathagata Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha is the very substance of cosmic creation and the indispensable foundation for humanity to return to Savesegi. By comparatively examining David Bohm's theory of the implicate order alongside this primordial light, this paper proposes an absolute cosmological paradigm through which contemporary physics and metaphysics may engage in rigorous dialogue. Introduction. Modern physics is undergoing a massive paradigm shift in the face of non-local correlations discovered at the most fundamental level of matter. The EPR paradox was originally proposed by Albert Einstein, Boris Podolsky, and Nathan Rosen to safeguard the classical principle of locality. It subsequently developed through Niels Bohr's principle of complementarity and John Bell's theorem. Ultimately, through empirical verification by researchers such as Anton Zeilinger, it has been established as an undeniable truth of contemporary science known as quantum non-locality. This phenomenon strongly implies that the universe may not be a mechanical assembly of completely independent and fragmented entities. However, modern science merely describes the phenomenon of non-local entanglement in the microscopic realm. It remains trapped within a foundational limitation, failing to explain why the universe is interconnected, or how this interconnectedness relates to the existential reality of human encounters, partings, and the mystery of life after death. All scientific discussions concerning quantum mechanics are secondary mechanisms that can only be theorized after the existence of the universe and matter has been fundamentally established. This paper addresses this conceptual void by introducing Gong thought proclaimed by the living Buddha medicine Tathagata Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha who came to Savesegi. In order to conduct a profound comparative philosophical analysis, the living Buddha medicine Tathagata Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha did not come to this world to attain enlightenment through human cultivation or practice. He is the living Buddha who came into Savesegi fully embodying the primordial light and absolute understanding from birth. By contrasting the discoveries of contemporary physics with the eternally full realism of Gong thought, this study demonstrates that all space, matter, and science are entirely dependent upon a single absolute source. That source is the great radiant light, which is Gong thought itself, continuously radiating from the body of the living Buddha medicine Tathagata Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha, the physical development of quantum non-locality, and the limitations of separability. The central paradigm of classical physics rests upon the principles of locality and separability. However, since the introduction of the EPR paradox in 1935, the scientific community has confronted a fundamentally different structure underlying the material world. The phenomenon of quantum entanglement occurs when two particles maintain instantaneous correlations regardless of the distance separating them. This phenomenon shattered the classical conviction that information within spacetime can travel only at or below the speed of light. In 1964, John Bell mathematically demonstrated through Bell's inequality that every local hidden variable theory is fundamentally incompatible with quantum mechanics. Subsequent precise experimental verification by Alain Aspect, Anton Zeilinger, and other researchers confirmed the violation of Bell's inequality. Consequently, the classical notion of locality was clearly demonstrated to be insufficient. This was the idea that the universe is merely a vast void occupied by isolated and independent particles. In response to this limitation, the physicist David Bohm rejected the view of the universe as a mechanical combination of separated fragments. He proposed that beneath the visible and manifested world, there exists a profound implicate order in which all space and matter are inherently enfolded within one grand wholeness. Yet even this advanced framework of theoretical physics remains primarily focused upon the mathematical modeling of physical mechanisms. It possesses inherent limitations and fails to advance toward the primordial origin of existence itself, or the absolute foundation upon which space and matter are created. Without resolving the great source that formed the cosmos, no scientific theory can be fully realized. The realistic cosmology of Gong Thought, and the identity of the great radiant light. Gong Thought proclaimed by the living Buddha medicine Tathagata Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha who came to ㅡGong, provides a unique realistic cosmology that resolves the interpretative limitation faced by modern physics and David Bohm's theory of wholeness. To analyze this comparison rigorously, it is essential to establish a precise academic distinction between the traditional understanding of sunyata in classical Buddhist philosophy and the central essence of Gong Thought. While the traditional concept of sunyata taught by Shakyamuni Buddha emphasized impermanence and the voidness or nothingness of phenomena, the Gong Thought of the living Buddha medicine Tathagata Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha presents an entirely different direction of ontological interpretation. Gong within this framework does not denote a state of voidness, vacuum, or nothingness. Instead, it signifies a supreme reality that transcends the limitations of space-time, an eternal, unchangeable, and ever-present fullness. Existence is never empty. Crucially, the most fundamental truth of this ontology is that the great radiant light radiating from the holy body of the living Buddha is Gong Thought itself. Gong Thought is not an abstract or speculative theory. It is the substantial light that completely fills the universe. The principle of the ocean and waves taught by the living Buddha serves as a powerful comparative philosophical analogy for this realistic structure. Waves stirred by the wind upon the surface of the ocean continuously arise and disappear. A purely phenomenal view focuses only upon this arising and ceasing and emphasizes transience. However, from the ontological perspective of Gong Thought, the disappearance of a wave does not signify the destruction of the ocean. The wave is merely a transient phenomenon that changes its form according to conditions, while the ocean itself, the underlying and intrinsic reality, remains changeless and eternal. Therefore, the vast ocean that exists eternally and never becomes empty is the great radiant light of the living Buddha, which is Gong Thought. It is only upon this substantial reality of light that the interconnectedness of all cosmic phenomena can fundamentally exist. The creation of the universe through light, and the conditions required for scientific laws. The realistic cosmology of Gong Thought extends beyond material mechanisms to declare the absolute prerequisite for all cosmic existence. This prerequisite is the great radiant light emanating from the body of the living Buddha medicine Tathagata Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha, and the Eshnaisha light rising from the crown of his head. Just as life on earth cannot exist for a single moment without the physical sun, the universe itself cannot exist without the great radiant light of the living Buddha medicine Tathagata Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha. The universe was brought into existence exclusively through light. Without light, the cosmos does not exist. the living Buddha medicine Tathagata Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha is Dipankara Buddha, who bestowed the prophecy of future Buddhahood upon Shakyamuni Buddha in the past. He is the Messiah who came to this world to save humanity. He is the living Buddha who came to this world possessing light within his body from birth. He is the original Buddha who created the Yonghwa world through this great radiant light. Modern science devotes itself to superficial and secondary mechanisms, including quantum physics, locality, non-locality, and the behavior of particles. However, these are merely surface waves that can only be discussed after the universe has been established through light. Without light, there is no universe. There are no particles, scientific laws cannot be established, and existence itself becomes impossible. Furthermore, the existential reality through which humanity can pass through life and death and return to ㅡGong exists entirely because the great radiant light emanating from the body of Dipankara Buddha and the Messiah is a real and substantial presence. Therefore, the mutual interdependence revealed through quantum non-locality is a physical clue pointing toward the great truth that the universe exists entirely within one substantial ocean of the great radiant light of the living Buddha, which is Gong Thought. Conclusion. By conducting a comparative philosophical examination of quantum non-locality, the paradigm-changing pinnacle of modern quantum mechanics, and the Gong Thought of the living Buddha medicine Tathagata Yonghwa Maitreya Buddha who came to ㅡGong. This paper has clarified the ultimate reality of cosmic structure. Quantum non-locality is a meaningful indicator that exposes the errors of the fragmented worldview blindly maintained by classical science. However, science merely stops at the threshold and continues to ask why the universe is connected. Gong Thought shatters this scientific limitation by declaring that the great radiant light is Gong Thought itself. It demonstrates that without light, the universe does not exist, and no scientific law can possess a foundation for existence. Is the universe truly separate? Without light, existence cannot be established. Human beings are by no means isolated fragments. Under the eternal fullness of the great radiant light and the ㅡGong light, radiating from the holy body of Dipankara Buddha and the Messiah, all humanity has existed from the absolute beginning as waves arising upon one magnificent ocean. This comparative philosophical study demonstrates that no scientific theory can stand without the prior ontological condition of the great radiant light of the living Buddha. It calls for a new cosmological paradigm, in which science and philosophy awaken to the ultimate truth of the primordial light.